Well, hello everybody, it's Richard here, and great to be back and to have another session of things where we are really. It's Saturday the 27th of March, and just to let you know, it's been a bit of a strange day today. We've had some very nice weather the first thing this morning, and I was lucky enough to get up nice and early and go for a nice 5.5 mile run and along the riverbank, which is near where I live here in Kent in the United Kingdom, and then later on, once I got back home, the heavens opened and we've had some showers now. But I'm pleased to say the temperature is now rising, and I think the temperature in the workshop here is something like 60 degrees centigrade. So we're out of that cold, very snowy period that we had a while ago. Now, some of you will remember that I had purchased a few things and was given a few things on the last video. I think it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago now, and I'm going to give you a quick update about where we are with those. But before then, I thought I'd just mention some publications which I've been very lucky to come across, and I bought a couple of these on recommendations from people, colleagues from work, but also I've been given one, and one of the people that have really sort of inspired me is Craig from Blue Naz. So there we go. Look, there we are. There's his YouTube channel. So if you're interested at all in anything like publications or music, and he used to work in the music industry, then he's the guy to get hold of. And Craig, just like to say thank you very much. You inspire me to actually do a bit more research into the background to recording and bands, and it's been great, and so I'm you know, enthused by that. One of the publications that I've come across is by Pan Books. It's Making Music. Now this one has got a really interesting, some interesting dialogue for us anoraks out there. It's actually, I think this one was produced in the 1980s. Let's have a look here. I think so. Must have regularly come out. It showcases, it's called Making Music, The Guide to Writing, Performing and Recording, and it's by George Martin. Fascinating read. It's got some historical introduction stuff it goes from the 1950s to the 1980s, and it's obviously probably out of print now, but you might be able to pick it up on eBay. 1983 this came out, and it talks about things all the way from how to record from 45 records all the way through and it even mentions compact disc, which I thought was interesting. And it actually, I don't know if I can find that section in here. It talks about the different types of microphone, different types of how tape recorders work, reel-to-reel, open-reel tape recorders. It's fascinating how a studio operates, and it's a really interesting sort of stuff actually. It's got Culture Club in here, Ultravox. In fact, the CD player that it mentions, the Sony, I've actually got one of in the house. So obviously, which I came across, somebody was chucking it out, and I picked it up for nothing, and I've serviced it and it's working fine. I don't use it, it's a spare in the background there, but and also it talks about how instruments produce their sound from brass to percussion. So an interesting read. So that one is a real good one, a good bedtime reading, or in my case Sunday morning reading when I'm coming to with a good cup of tea. And here we go, good cup of tea. The other one that I really have been enjoying reading is by Peter Copland, and this one's called Sound Recording. Okay, now this one, as you can see, I've earmarked because this really is about the recording history from early gramophone and the way in which gramophone records were produced, and as we know from our colleague Tink, who has got her Edison phonographs. And the fact that obviously the manufacture of those, the reproduction of those, had to be done individually for a while, and then Edison found a way of actually producing those on almost a type of mass production, I suppose, in his work. But also it's got things about here, the different labels, and how recordings were made. Again, the cutting head, got bits in here, some very interesting plates, you know, about how records were made, in the early days, and early opera. So you know, so Doug from Curzon Road would probably be interested in that, and how some of the machines, like this one, this is an Edison machine, came into being, that came from the idea of dictaphones and that. So this is basically, this guy, Peter Copland, used to work for the Sound Archive, National Sound Archive over here in the United Kingdom, and it's a really good one. And as I say, I got this on eBay for about £5, and it's practically pristine, and it came originally from Talking Point Antiques, which is down in Yorkshire, so that's a good one. So that's the second book that I've been wading through. The other one that my colleague at work, Si Vowles, who is well into his 80s and has got a big history of instruments, and great guy, always bringing records and tapes to me that he's found in local charity shops. And so this one is The Bands Played On. Now this one is really good. Again, this one I got on eBay. I managed to find a copy, and it's now a major TV series. I don't remember seeing that, but this goes back to the 1970s. It showcased all the British bands, basically, from our friend. There's lovely pictures in here: Ambrose, Billy Cotton, Duke Ellington, Roy Fox, Carol Gibbons, all the ones that I like to hear. There they are, look, they're the lads. And of course mentions the best one of all, of course, Al Bowley, who we can't go out the mention. So another good buy, that one. If you get that at all, if you see that on eBay, snap it up. If you're particularly interested in sound recordings, early British bands or bands at all, and swing era, that's certainly one to get hold of. The other two things that I've been lucky enough to come across is a couple of CD sets, and these are, the first one is the Benny Goodman. Now these are, I'm a bit sceptical of CDs, I don't know about everyone out there, but I really am, because a lot of them just, they're compressed, they don't sound good, they're over denoised, and you end up with this horrible sound that comes out of the speakers. I have to say, this is on the Retro label, and these are worth getting. For my ears, it may be just my ears, and I'm deaf in one, my ear, as it were, thinks this is good. This is the Benny Goodman, the Gold Collection, 40 great classic performances. So you've got things from King Porter's Stomp, Sometimes I'm Happy, Blue Skies, right the way through to And the Angels Sing, you know. So this is really good big Benny Goodman stuff on that one. I love listening to that. Come home having a bath and it's playing in the background. The other one is the Duke Ellington collection. Now these collections seem to be on eBay. I've checked. There's several I'm watching. There's Charlie Parker at the moment. There's a set out on him. I might get that. Going for about £3. I mean, it's a ridiculous price for 40. Again on the Retro label. They come with little books. Some of them got dates with the recordings, which I always find is most important. Because if I'm listening to a piece of music and I'm really enjoying it, I want to remember, you know, when was it recorded? Oh, 1940. Okay, who was it? Who was in the band? Okay, I'm not going to remember these things all the time, but it just puts it into context about where we are. So this is another good one. Okay. Now, I'm just aware of the time, actually, because obviously the 10-minute slot is nearly up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video, and then I'm going to carry on with the second one in the same light. So see you soon, all right?